week 3 of the college football season. Great to have everybody back. And let's get right to Baton Rouge, where one of the biggest games in the country taking place. Florida visits Tiger Stadium Saturday night. Coach Kelly, let's talk about last weekend first. I know it's kind of stuck between two monster games, but you survived. I'll leave it to you to describe what else happened.
Yeah, we dominated the game statistically, won the football game. Unfortunately, gave up a shutout late. Anytime you do that, there's some good things. Now, was it an elite performance? No, it was not. But our guys played with energy. They cared. They played hard. We just had to clean up some things. You know, most of them are mental. They're not physical. And how we prepare against an opponent where we have better players. Hats off to Louisiana Tech. Sonny had his team ready to play. They played well. But at the end of the day, this is really about us and being consistent in the way we prepare and then how we perform. If we underperformed, we would not have won the game, but it wasn't to our standards. So that's what we take away. Now let's learn from that and build on that going into this week against, which will be an emotionally charged atmosphere here at Tiger Stadium against Florida.
Coach, before we go there, pundits, fans, they all think they understand football, and they look at a Clemson game, then they look at this game and Louisiana Tech, which has a respectable program, but they don't look at it like a coach looks at it. You have to prepare every week. Is there anything to turning it up or down, or do you just get your team ready to play and just follow the game plan? Because it looks like sometimes teams get up and down depending on who the opponent is.
Yeah, and Paul, I think if you get on that roller coaster ride, you're going to slip up more times than not. And so, you stay away from that. And I think that's why everybody has some kind of process that they think about more than anything else. And that is sticking to a process over an outcome. If you're just thinking about the outcome, then you will be up and down. You'll have some emotional highs and some days where you don't have the same emotion. What I liked about our team is that we played hard and we weren't flat. We went out and played hard. We just didn't play with the same precision and sharpness that you need to play to beat an opponent like La Tech. Now, we'll have to have that sharpness against an SEC opponent, and our guys know that. But what we're trying to get them to learn is that it doesn't matter who you play. It should be a nameless, faceless opponent, and you play the same way. We're looking for consistency, and that was the lesson that we learned, I hope we learned, going into this Florida game.
So let's get to this game because fans know how big this is. It's prime time. It's hard to get much bigger in terms of atmosphere. But Florida, whatever they did, whatever we just talked about, they may not have done correctly. They lost to it, but they also lost to a pretty good team.
Yes, they did.
What's the approach to what's a big rivalry and also a game that didn't go your way last year?
Yeah, I don't know that we really think about last year. Now, we could take some tactical things from last year and say, maybe we should have done this or done that. But at the end of the day, it's two different teams. It's certainly Florida against LSU, which has the emotional piece to it. And now this is about confidence in your preparation, playing with great composure. I mean, I think penalties and playing at Tiger Stadium, really getting our fan base involved in this game and really making it Death Valley is going to be an edge that we're going to need to count on. And then competing for 4 quarters. This thing will go right down to the very end. And getting your guys just to understand that going into the week of preparation, that you're going to have to play with composure. You got to play with an incredible confidence and trust what you're doing, and then compete every single play. And that's why these games are so fun.
Coach, you've already been up against an elite quarterback, and you won that game, and he was not as elite, primarily because of your defense. You're seeing another guy who is on everybody's list, Heisman, top quarterback, DJ Lagway. Just how would you assess him and describe what you're up against?
Well, arm talent certainly can make all the throws. And I think really an outstanding runner of the football. And so you've got a dual threat quarterback here. Now, he's not doing it himself. He's got an outstanding running back. He's got talented wide receivers. He's got a really good defense. But, you turn the film on, you clearly know his talent level. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out that we've got an elite quarterback. And we've got to make them one-dimensional. We've got to make them uncomfortable in the pocket. We've got to change up the looks on defense. Paul, I mean, you've been through this a million times. I mean, when you have an elite quarterback, if you just give him vanilla and he knows what he's going to get every single down, and he's comfortable, you're usually in for a long day.
Talking to Coach Brian Kelly. Coach, we normally talk about what's ahead, but I'm really curious about something that happened last week, a couple of days after we talked. And not that it really was critically important, but I got asked about it. So many people on the shows that I appear on were talking about it. And it was the back and forth between you and Coach Sweeney at Clemson. It became one of those signature moments of the week that probably you did not pay attention to, but I would like to go back to that, and because usually you move forward, but after what Dabo Sweeney said, you had a reaction to it.
I really didn't have a reaction. I answered a question from the press conference about it, and so I had already moved on, but in fairness to the member of the media that asked the question, I felt that I should answer it. And my answer was, I didn't think he saw the second half if he graded us that low. And that's really it. I wasn't taking a shot at Dabo. I've got a ton of respect for him, but sometimes you have to put it in context, right? I mean, it wasn't like, hey, let me talk about Dabo here because I heard what he said. I had no idea what he said. But it was brought up, and so I thought that it was my responsibility at a press conference to answer the question, and I answered it honestly, and I guess it gets portrayed the way people want to portray it.
Well, we appreciate it, those of us who are in the media, because there's plenty to talk about every week. But when one of the biggest winners of the previous weekend says what he did, it gives pundits like me a chance to make wild and crazy descriptions. Coach, listen, we really enjoy this, and I appreciate you answering questions that are sometimes a little bit offbeat, and we can't wait to bring our showdown there Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it should be fun. That's why I keep coming back each week.
LSU.
I'm looking for more questions. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank you, Coach.